What's up? For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danielle Starwater. Welcome to my channel. I was thinking about what it's like to feel lost. I just wanted to make this video to kind of reach out to somebody who is feeling lost. Sometimes we have to go through rites of passages. There are many initiations on this journey that we have to go through. A big part of this journey is the void, the unknown, the nothingness. It's like we have to go through phases where nothing makes sense, right? I definitely did. I had like a total typical normal childhood. I trained as a competitive gymnast, but when I wasn't training, I was, just a normal kid, just playing video games and climbing trees and, riding my 10-speed around the neighborhood. Things made sense, Then I got into high school, and high school was pretty cool. I was a cheerleader. I got to go to all the football games and the basketball games, and again, there was this normalcy to my life. The normalcy was comforting. So as I continued throughout my teenage years and into my 20s and to college years, things started to shift. This was about the time where I'd say I was starting to get into trouble. I became really bored with my reality. You see, I was sort of slipping out of the normalcy. It's like I was seeing a bigger picture, but I didn't know what it was. I was still very deeply ingrained in the matrix, but I knew that there was a way out. I just hadn't found it yet. So, what did I do? I started partying. I started taking drugs. I started drinking. I started losing my grip on reality. Because, like I said, I knew there was something more, but I was trapped, I couldn't find it. I couldn't get out of it. That's when shit really started to hit the fan. My life started to go down the drain. Kind of reminds me of that scene in the movie The Matrix, where Neo has been living his old life, and he's so bored and so sick of it. And yet he's sitting at his computer, and all of a sudden some little letters come up on his computer, and it's like a wake-up call. There's something else out here for you. That's exactly where I was at that point in my journey. So as I continued down this really dark path, things started to get even more bizarre for me. I was having weird experiences, and it's almost like the universe was giving me a taste, kind of lifting the veil up just a little bit for me to see, and then the universe would put it down. And I was just having these out-of-body experiences, and I was having all of these bizarre interactions with all these different beings. And I just remember thinking, like, I don't know what's going on in my life right now. My family's worried about me. I'm losing it, right? I'm going off the deep end. So I started to heed the messages that I was getting from this unknown source through spirit. And, it was up to me whether I was going to ignore them or not. So there's this saying, when you hit your lowest point, that's when you are most open for the greatest change, right? It's almost like when we hit rock bottom, that's when we can truly rise. And that's definitely what happened to me. So I had hit rock bottom, and I had a choice. I feel like the universe always gives us a choice. Even when we're facing death, we are confronted with choices. I was facing my own death due to the choices that I had made. And I had a choice. I could listen to spirit, and I could reroute my destination, and I could surrender. Or I could continue partying, I could continue running and fighting my true self. I made the choice to surrender to Spirit and to commit myself to, a higher purpose. I found myself taking these day trips to the mountain. A lot of you don't know that about me, but yeah, I was definitely a city girl when I was growing up. This whole nature thing was something that I chose. I rerouted my destination to put me here. Back to the story, as I was getting all of these messages from Spirit, I kept hearing, go to the mountains, go to the forest, go to the land. I was being called to connect with myself through connecting with the land. I remember that first trip that I took to the mountains, and I remember my little car, my little Infiniti G20 that I was driving at the time, the engine blew up on my way. So my car blows up on the side of the highway, and I'm devastated, because I was confused because I had been getting all of these messages from Spirit. When nature calls, you heed that call, you go, right? And I just remember being in this state of mind of such confusion and doubt and hopelessness. I had behind me the city that was killing me, and I didn't want to be there anymore, and I was running from it. And then ahead of me, I had this mountain and the wilderness, the vast wilderness that I was desperately trying to connect with that I couldn't get to. So I was just devastated. And I remember my dad took me home, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, Dad, you don't understand. I gotta get out there. I need the wilderness. I think it took me about, I'd say, another 6 months to a year to save up my money, get my car fixed, and to get to a place where I could, get back out into wilderness and connect with nature. I vowed to myself I would never settle again. As soon as I got my money saved up, I was gone. I was right back out here again. And, it's taken a while. It's taken a while to acclimate and integrate myself into this new identity. But I have to say that, I haven't looked back at the old version of Danielle, and I have really come into, the version of myself that I really want to be. Nature really humbled my ass. There's been phases of my time in nature that have been very difficult, and I mean really freaking hard. But at the same time, this experience has really humbled me. So as I continued with my new identity, connecting with the land and nature, I also realized that I was coming into another form of imbalance. It's crazy how easily we can, go to extremes, one end to the other, one extreme to the other. And I was definitely living that. So the past year of my existence has been about stability, balance, letting people in my life, letting love in, starting to trust people, but most of all, trusting myself, trusting my own judgment. So I would say to anybody who is hopelessly lost on their journey that you need to integrate 3 things: stability, balance, and love. And when I say love, I mean love for yourself, compassionate, gentle love for yourself, and then giving love to others. I found a lot of times when I'm feeling lost is when I'm not in a place of being of service. When you find your gift and your talent and you start to create value for other people, that's when we start to become found. The way you become found is by no longer settling. You have to do what you love, and you have to serve other people. That's what's going to get you out of that dark place. And when we open Pandora's box, we have to be open, willing, and ready to see what's inside. And not all of it is, rainbows, fairies, and unicorns. A lot of what's in Pandora's box, or behind the veil, or behind the shadow of illusion, is, harsh truths, things that are not easy for us to integrate into our experience. So I would say for anybody who's on this path is to be gentle with yourself. So it's like if we're going down a rabbit hole and we don't know where it leads, you have to be willing to be strong enough to keep going. We're heading towards the unknown. That is the mystery of the journey. So just continue facing your fears. You'll become much stronger and things will continue to make more sense. I just know if I can do it, anybody can do it, to be honest. I know you all are strong, so hang in there, and I'm sending you all so much love. Until my next one, peace.